Hello friends, in series of Ascendant, today I'll be discussing about native having Pisces as their ascendant or Lagna or their rising sign in their horoscope or Kundali. To know your ascendant, you may want to watch my introductory ascendant video. Let's say that you have looked at your horoscope or Kundali and found number 12 in the first house. That means you are an Pisces ascendant. So in Kundali or Janam Patrika or horoscope, you have 12 houses, and first house is considered as the most important house because it defines the personality and the characteristics. Now, as you would notice, I haven't got any planet in any of the 12 houses. So whatever I will discuss today will not tell you how good or bad certain aspects of life would be, but still it would give you a definite idea in terms of different aspect of life with of a native with Pisces as their ascendant. So first let's start and see some of the famous personalities who have got Pisces as their ascendant. Pandit Ravi Shankar, Dr. Ambedkar, Rabindranath Tagore, Sabana Azmi, and then famous astrologer Pandit Sanjay Rath. They all have Pisces as their ascendant. Let's try to understand Pisces zodiac sign. So Pisces has been assigned Jupiter as the ruler. Water is the element. It's a feminine sign, dual nature, and Brahmin is the caste. It rules the 12th house, which is one of the moksha houses, true moksha house. And then in Kal Purush, it rules feet as the body part. So to understand in detail, first let's try to decode the symbol. So as you would see, there are two fishes who are kind of mm, cir- circling in a loop. So what does that really indicate? It indicates that these natives will have loss of direction. They will wander around, and they are the people who would most of the time be confused. Let's understand what does really water element brings in. So they are the people who are extremely emotional people. And because it's a feminine sign, they would be physically weak and soft people. Also because of the nature, which is of a dual nature, they find difficult to make decisions. So they are quite indecisive. But then because of the caste they are Brahmin, they will always be keen to learn new things, and they are going to be very honest as well. So let's understand from their horoscope what different aspect or how different aspect of life would be. So the second house, which is the house of wealth and family, it's ruled by Mars, which essentially means uh, these people will have kind of a quite strict home environment, which they may not like it. And when it comes to their earning, they or the wealth, knowledge they will assume as their wealth because of the fact that both 10th house and 12th house are both ruled by Jupiter. So they will treat philosophy and spirituality as their wealth, and that's what they will always be keen to accumulate. Let's look at their third house. So third house is ruled by Venus. So these people are the one who would always try to find pleasure from their hobbies. S- and also when it comes to their sibling, they will have very soft kind of relationship with their siblings. Um, then they will be mostly inclined towards indoor hobbies. They will have love towards music. Fourth house, which is ruled by Gemini, and it means they are going to have changes to their home quite frequently. The reason being they're not going to be serious about uh, making their life very stable. So they will move from one house to another and will not like the idea of owning property and more responsibility. So, in other words, they just don't like the materialistic thing, but they have to deal with those materialistic. That's what causes sometimes stress to them. In terms of their children and their love affairs, so this is where one area where they are going to be emotionally attached to a really a very high degree. So that essentially means they are the people who would really find difficult to say no to demands of their children and their in even to their love affairs. They don't know really how to say no in a confident way. When it comes to their sixth house, their work life, so they are going to work with a lot of authoritative figures, and they take work very seriously. So they are going to be very good employee. So their employers will really like them a lot because they are very sincere and serious in the workplace. In terms of their seventh house, which really indicates their spouse, so they would normally have very intelligent spouse because Mercury rules the seventh house. And also, there is one more thing. They are the people who would not react to when it comes to challenge uh, uh, from other people. They are more going to accept and wouldn't want to fight. They are the people who would be when it comes to the kind of heated moments, they would use their mind rather than their muscle power. In terms of the eighth house, which is house of their in-laws, so they will have quite cordial relationship with their in-laws and quite balanced as well. In terms of ninth house, their religious belief, this is where they are really going to be quite, they will love to go into deep, trying to understand the philosophy, the religion. In depth, they may do research also in mystical side of things. When it comes to their 10th house, which is ruled by Jupiter, and we will discuss the profession later. And in terms of their 11th house, which is house of their social network, that's going to be pretty much dry because of Saturn being the ruler of 11th house. And then their 12th house, which is ruled by again Saturn. So this is where the spirituality aspect of Saturn comes into play. They are going to be very generous, but then they will love to be in isolation. They don't really want the materialistic side of things. So let's try to understand from a profession perspective what are the key elements. So first thing, what you would see, because of the water element and the involvement of Jupiter, they lack the ambitiousness in them. They are going to be quite okay with whatever position they get in their workplace. Um, when it comes to the kind of jobs they would do, so they would be who would be associated with rehabilitation of things, because 12th house rules um, really the rehabilitation, hospital, jail. So they are the people who could be a good nurse or they could be in the hospital. um, they could be a very good teacher because of Jupiter being the ruler of their 10th house and of their Lagna. They could be very good counselor as well. And they could be a preacher who could do a lot of research into the religious subject and propagate that knowledge in the society. Let's try to understand their weaknesses. So one weakness they have is they wouldn't really treat themselves as leader. They are always into that learning mode and listening mode rather than reacting mode. They are the people who will be very much imaginative, uh, and on occasions they can be very restless about things. They lack self confidence because they lack the fire element in them. Mostly it's a watery sign. That's what makes them or gives them that lack of confidence. They are extremely sympathetic, tears in their eyes if they see somebody, in pain. They are very orthodox and superstitious people as well. In terms of diseases, things like they could be depressed, or they could have ear related problem because Jupiter rules ear, and they could also have heart related, especially when it comes to their fifth house, which is ruled by a watery planet, moon. They could have problems with their digestion, like they could face gastric related issues. Also, if Jupiter isn't well placed, they could have feet related injuries, and in general they will have water related illness. Especially they could have dry cough, reason being second house being ruled by Sun, which is a hot planet. So these are some of the diseases they could face. So hope this has given some insight about the Pisces Ascendant. So please like and comment. Thank you, and we'll see in the next video.